Set deep in the heavily wooded southern Netherlands, nestled between the Belgian and German borders, lies the beautiful medieval town of Roermond. In common with the rest of Holland, large loads of industrial raw materials and farm produce are carried from one end of the country to the other by either rail or, more traditionally, by barge, using one of the many canals which go to make up the main transport arteries throughout the Netherlands. The stretch of canal which passes close to Roermond is known as the Lateral Canal. It forms part of the complex system of waterways unique to the Netherlands and provides the impressive venue for the 1988 Benson and Hedges BAOR angling finals. A series of massive locks help keep the river traffic flowing. Over 100 barges a day pass through these huge gates. The Maas is one of Europe's longest rivers, and the canal has the effect of straightening out this meandering section as it flows from Belgium in the south, past Roermond, and on to the North Sea. "7 a.m. on a damp September morning on the banks of the canal. This is the first time the Benson and Hedges Angling Championships have been held outside BAOR. This year, the individual and team events are being held on consecutive days, bringing together anglers from all parts of Germany for one of the highlights in their sporting calendar, and the opportunity of winning a much-coveted Benson and Hedges trophy.
50 anglers will be taking part in the individual competition, which will be held on Saturday. These have qualified as a result of a number of matches held at their group or divisional level. The team championships will be taking place on Sunday, and the venue will be slightly upstream from where we are at present. For that, 40 teams have qualified, again as a result of competitions at divisional and group level.
Practice for this event begins many months before. Some may already have had experience of fishing this stretch of water. For others, it may be their first visit. Fishing on a busy canal can present its own set of problems.
The boat traffic, which is moving up and down today, will obviously be present on Saturday and reduced for the match on Sunday. It will have a bearing, which is why I think the method on the day will undoubtedly be the feeder, continuous use of the feeder, getting the ground bait down to where the fish are likely to be. The canal itself has got two shelves. One shelf which is out at about the 10-metre point, and it's here that I would expect anglers to be using the pole and the waggler. The other shelf, which drops off at about the 20-metre point, just on the edge of the actual boat channel itself, is where we would expect the large amount of fish to be caught, probably bream in large quantities. And it's here, obviously, we will expect anglers to be using the feeder.
I'm going to set up a 10-metre pole. I'm going to set up a feeder. I'm going to feed 2 swims. If the feeder doesn't produce, then I'll go on the pole. And keep swapping, vice versa, keep feeding both areas until one of them will produce. That's how I see it today.
I think it's very hard to pick a good method. Try everything, I think, see what happens.
Well, I think in common with most others that will be fishing today will be to fish a feeder fairly well out. I haven't had a lot of practice down here, but that appears to be the method that works. We'll know at 4 o'clock or whatever.
Well, 2 lines, a feeder and the pole. I alternate in between if I can't get the bream on the pole, on the feeder. be coming on the inside on the pole. I'm hoping to bring the bigger roach in. I think the match will be won on the feeder. It's just a matter of who's going to connect with the bream. Hopefully, it will be me.
I think the aim today really is just to go for the bream, and I think you'll find the majority of the people along this section will be doing exactly that. It's an individual event. You're not going to let anyone else down, and it's all or nothing now. So either we get into bream and hopefully win it, or you don't. Really, there's nothing more to it today than that. Tomorrow, hopefully, a different story.
Should be quite funny once the boats start coming though.
Ahead lie 5 hours of concentration and skill. Every man for himself.
Rods in!
Whilst most set up in plenty of time and were ready for the off, sadly Paul Brooks of Osnabrück had been catching up on some sleep in his car, and the competition started without him. Everyone agreed the tactics were to go for the brie. However, tactics don't always work. One of the first fish to be netted is a perch, quite rare in this stretch of water. A relaxed Bill Winton of 26 Engineer Regiment Iserlohn has established an early lead. But what's his recipe for success?
Swim feeder with a worm and maggot cocktail on the hook. Seems to be working. I feel sorry for the boy downstream of me. He hasn't caught anything yet.
Although most have chosen the feeder method, using the waggler can still produce good results. The group of interested onlookers will be taking part in the team finals and are no doubt anxious to pick up any tips.
Oh, snake. 6.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
6 kilo?
6 did.
6 kilo, good. Kilo 200. 6 kilo 200. 6 kilo 200.
6 200.
1 kilo 950.
Yeah. 1 950.
Yeah. Den är för äldre med 446.
You want to try that?
Yeah.
Eight 950. Oops, sorry. Less than I thought that.
But will it be enough to secure the individual title?
Third place with 8 kilo 110 grams caught Malthel from Lipstadt, 22 signals.
The prizes were presented by Charles Stewart, representing Benson and Hedges.
Good luck tomorrow.
This year's runner-up with 8 kilo 300, WO2 Kipper Kapinski from 1721.
Well done. You're one of our old supporters. That's right. Yeah, great. Very tremendous.
This year's BAOR individual champion, proving why he's also the BAOR captain, Staff Sergeant Alan Gregory from Catch 21.
Very well done. Tremendous effort. Good luck tomorrow.
An enjoyable day's sport behind them, and no one goes away empty-handed. For many, a good rehearsal for the team event to be held the following day, where the pressures will be even greater to avoid ending up with a dry net. For now, the day belongs to Staff Sergeant Alan Gregory, not the kind of man to let fame and fortune go to his head. In fact, once a senior NCO, always a senior NCO.
Come on in, you lot. Wakey, wakey. Phil, come on. Time to get up, mate. Come on, lads. Big day today. Come on in. Gary. Come on in, wakey, wakey. Are we back in fire then? See you in a bit.
Yeah, see you now, fella. 6th Armoured Workshop.
Day 2, and the ranks have been swollen with the arrival of the participants for the team championships.
Catch 21C. Catch 21C.
Catch 21C have travelled from Nienberg in the north of Germany, whilst others have the advantage of being on home waters.
The München-Gladbach Maggots.
The draw to decide the team peg positions is held at Rheindalen, but the actual angling competition takes place back on the lateral canal in Holland, a drive of some 30 kilometres away.
Yesterday, the tactic was to use the swim feeder in order to get the large weight necessary to get into the good trophy positions. Today, we will probably see a change of tactics. With 40 teams on the bank, 5 men in each team, spread over 5 sections of the canal, we will see a lot of activity initially on the inside swim. Once they've caught some fish on the inside swim, probably using the waggler or the pole, we will then see people going into the boat channel in the hope of picking up the bream which congregate out there. Yesterday, it was an individual. If he didn't succeed, he only had himself to blame. Today, if he fails, he lets his team down, and the pressure is already showing on some of the younger, inexperienced anglers.
I'm terrified of it, and I've taken it because it's the hard section. I'm the most experienced angler in my team, and so that's what you've got to do, you know what I mean. If I can get a team, if I can get in the top 10, I will be happy today, or close to the top 10. That'll do me fine. I can't ask for anything more for them, and I'm probably the most tense of the whole team, and I'm the most experienced, and I'm trying to calm guys down, and I'm like it myself, you know. It's awful. I don't want to do it anymore.
The boat traffic today is even more of a problem, as the pleasure craft travelling at higher speeds stir up the ground bait. Following the experiences of the individual event, the feeder still seems to be the method most likely to produce the best catch. The pressures on the anglers are far greater in a team event, and unlike yesterday, there is little of the friendly banter between them. Parts of the river have substantial mussel beds. Activated by the particles of breadcrumbs floating downstream, the mussels steal the worms intended for the fish.
Well, it's not too bad. It's a pity the wind's up though. It's the winds and the mussels keep pinching on my hooks. It's not too bad. I've got 4 bream so far on maggot and worm. They don't seem to touch anything else. Which is just a maggot and a worm. Anything else you put on, they're not touching. But then again, it depends on each swim. You know, each swim's different. Just gone to a shorter tail. I'm trying to shield the rod from the wind. It's coming in the wrong direction as usual. All you need is somebody not to catch fish and you're right out of it. But one fish can make all the difference. So with a bit of luck, we'll all catch and all they won't.
Halfway point, and the wind has picked up. The rods are held parallel to the bank, so the anglers can see the bite more clearly.
Old German gave me a hint yesterday that honey and milk placed in your maggots 2 hours before the match will pull the bream out of here. It seemed to have started off like that, but it's just gone a bit slow at the moment. It's like all the canals, isn't it?
With 1 hour to go, how do the contestants feel they're doing?
Rubbish. I've only had 2 at the moment. Keep snapping off on something. rocks or something.
Like 8 kilo on it yesterday, and I've got about 2.5, something like that. So I've probably helped out the team, but I haven't done any good individually, I don't think. I was warned off before I came down that this section wasn't fishing very good. It's been a bit scratchy. So I've just been picking up the odd fish here and there.
I picked up one bream in the first 2 hours, and I decided to go on the inside on the 8-metre line for small fish. And I've been catching fairly steadily the last sort of hour and a half. Just hoping to build up some section points.
Broadside!
3 kilo 980.
Yeah, about that. It's just under your house. Got it.
2 kilo. 170.
Knocking this off now, and I'm going on the feeder for the big stuff. And this year, can't put it in.
Yep, that's it, I'm afraid. That one's dry netting, I suppose, but
450 grams.
yep.
One kilo, 530.
Whole or
Regular. 3 kilo, 300. 7 kilo, 250 grams. McAllister, White Eagles 8. Get that?
Well, we came here with team plan and everything. We said 5 kilo per man, and as it is, I've got 7 kilos, so I just hope the rest of the team have done the same. Great.
Don't
4, 5.
11,800.
All I do now is what the rest of my team has done as well. And if they have, then we've cracked it. It's about time we got a bit of luck, this team.
After a day of superb fishing, it's back to Rheindalen for the all-important results.
In third place, 17th, 21st Lancers, 38 points.
Well done. I'm an old cavalry man myself.
4/7 then, is it?
Second Dragoon Guards. Second. Very well done, remember. Cheers. Well done. Really.
The runners-up this year just picked to the post.
Again from Nienberg, catch 21.18.
Yes, you've done a tremendous job with your team. Many congratulations. That's yours.
The tension amongst the teams runs high as the runners-up each receive their awards. For Alan Gregory, a second tackle box.
Many congratulations. Very well fished. Well done. Great fishing. Well done. See you again.
Yep.
Yes.
This year's BAOR team champions, the White Eagles A team, with a total of 22 goals.
And so for the White Eagles A team from 16 Tank Transporter Regiment based in Fallingbostel, the months of practice and qualifying have finally paid off. For them, it's back to their unit to prepare for Exercise Iron Hammer. For others, maybe thoughts of the ones that got away. But they'll be back once again to take on the challenge of becoming the Benson and Hedges Team Angling Champions. And who can blame them? You could say they are well and truly hooked.